Hi everybody, we just spent a great month in Mississippi, the Gulf Coast of Mississippi, and we wanted to share some of those highlights with you. And as always, we are uploading this video with Nomad Internet, so if you would like truly unlimited, uncapped, unthrottled internet on the road, click on the link in the description below and get $25 off your first month of Nomad Internet.
Okay, so we're in Gulfport, which is very close to Biloxi, which is what we talk about all the time.
That close on a map. It's just that close.
Which to me is like 2 minutes, but apparently it's a little bit longer.
Put a zero in the too.
But we've kind of been here and there, and you guys know, I mean, we went to Texas and we came back and everything, but we love this area. So this is a really fun area for us. We just love the beach, and we love the food, and we love just the area in general, and being close to New Orleans and Mobile, and it's just and Laurel, because I love Laurel. And so we have
and the weather,
yeah, that's much better. So we wanted to share a little bit of that with you guys and just let you know how awesome this area is, and maybe you'll want to come and visit some of the places that we did.
Yeah, and coincidentally enough, or oddly enough, whatever adjective you want to use, this is where we were when all the original COVID lockdown started. We were in the same RV park that we were at that time, so we had a lot of stuff going on, or a lot of stuff planned for that time. We were going to meet up with some friends and all that stuff, and of course all that got canceled. But we did get some videos done. We visited the Maritime Museum back then, which is the Maritime and Seafood Industry Museum, which is a really cool place. So go check that video out. We'll put a link up here somewhere. The Mississippi Gulf Coast is turned into one of our favorite places to go. I've had to go there for work a number of times over the last 3 to 4 years, and I've either taken my daughter, my son, or Shelly down each time. And we've always had a great time, so it's turning in, like I said, it's turning into one of our favorite places to visit. And during this time when the video was created, it was really nice because the weather was so nice. I mean, highs in the upper 70s in November. I can't beat it.
Unfortunately, we didn't get to do as much stuff as we'd like to because of Michael's medical appointments of getting, physical therapy and doing the things he needs to do.
Yep.
But we did get to do a few things.
Yeah, and one of the things that I've been wanting to do for a long time, because I kept seeing signs for it, was going to the Mississippi Model Railroad Museum. And it's just a cool place.
It's very cool.
A lot more going on there than I thought it was going to be.
A lot more people go there.
A lot more. I thought it was going to be like almost like an abandoned museum where only a couple of people are there. But when we went, there were a lot of people there, and we drove by it a lot because me going to my physical therapy appointments and stuff, I drove by there a lot. There was always a ton of cars in the parking lot, and the only unfortunate thing about our visit to the Model Railroad Museum was they have a huge expansion, another building like the size of a Walmart that is they're dealing with some permitting issues to get that opened. It was open for like a week, and then they had to close it back down due to some occupancy permitting issues, and they're still working those out. So they have a lot more than what we saw, and they have a lot more than what you're going to see in the video. But why am I talking about it when I can show you the Mississippi Model Railroad Museum? This is a cool place. $5 recommended donation to get in here. As you can see behind us, there's trains everywhere, and who doesn't love trains, right? Shelly doesn't like trains.
They even said you could take a train ride. We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a big train ride. I think it's a kid train ride.
Let's go see some trains. That little guy scooting down the road there is an N-scale train. That's a blimp. Even the airport is to scale. Now the really cool thing I love about model trains is the attention to detail that a lot of these conductors put into their work, and there's a lot of attention to detail here. You're going to see some burned out buildings that were made by hand. You're going to see some lakes with fish and all kinds of stuff in them. And not only that, we forgot something else that this place has. Over 2 million Legos make up the largest Lego train display in Mississippi, but they also have tons of other Lego constructions. That's the best way to put it. So we're going to see those too. So follow along. Here we go.
All hearts are lost by default in the time of a single beat. We're leaving on the next train bell, so take your seat. All right.
There's a lot of cool outdoor displays here, and we're here in the middle of November, and it's like in the 70s, high 70s. It's a beautiful day out here today. And one thing this outdoor train has that you can come out and ride is you can go through the tunnel. And here comes the train. It's a-coming. So it's always important when you're near train tracks to pay attention to if the arm is down or not. Make sure it's safe to go. So we're looking both ways. We're looking to see if we hear the train. We don't hear a train. We don't see a train. And now we're going to walk across the train tracks in a safe manner. Okay, ready for safe manner? Oh. Well, what we didn't see from our last vantage point was this is just a lot more than trains here. Apparently, at some point, pirates invaded. They left behind their minions and their treasure. So who'd have thought we'd have found minions sailing a pirate ship at a train museum? But we did.
Where are we going now?
Well, this was something I found looking on Roadside America. And that's one of our go-to websites to find places to visit because we love seeing all the quirky, odd, weird stuff. One place we tried to go visit and I thought was going to be an epic video filming it was there's a nuclear test site in Mississippi, which I had no idea that they had detonated nuclear devices intentionally in Mississippi. So I saw it on Roadside America. I'm like, oh, this is cool, this is awesome. So it's only an hour and a half away. So I said, let's do that. Shelley wanted to go to Laurel, Mississippi.
I love me some Laurel.
So we're on the way. It's not like right off the road between Gulfport and Laurel. It's like way off to the west. So we're out there and we're kind of in the middle of nowhere. And the GPS said, you have arrived. And we're looking around. We hadn't even seen a sign. Nothing. And so this is where Shelley should have done something well before we ever made the trip, and that is actually go behind me and read the directions to get here. Because to get to the nuclear test site, you had to drive all that way. Then you drove onto somebody's private property. And supposedly they have signs saying it's cool that you can do that. And then you park at a certain spot, and then you walk, what was it, 2 miles?
Something like that.
I have a hard time walking 20 feet right now because of my knee issues. So, yeah, the 2-mile hike was completely out of the question. So, needless to say, there will be no atomic testing footage in this video, and I'm really bummed about that. Yep, so that's what we did. And after dealing with a little bit of frustration on my part, we continued on to our trip to Laurel, which we had a good time.
We did.
Had a great dinner.
We did.
At a restaurant that had been featured in one of their shows, so it was cool.
Unfortunately, that's where I hurt my ankle.
Yeah. Apparently, if you step in a hole when you're trying to walk, you might twist in your ankle.
Not a good thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but one of the cool things we found on Roadside America that we actually did find is the Ground Zero Museum in Waveland, Mississippi.
MISSISSIPPI.
Yeah. Now, a lot of people think when they hear the term Ground Zero nowadays, they think about 9/11 and the World Trade Center bombings. But Ground Zero is a common term for the epicenter of an event, whether that be a bombing or where a tornado hit or a hurricane, whatever. So what I didn't realize was Waveland, Mississippi, which is about an hour east of New Orleans, is actually where the eye of Katrina came ashore. So that was the epicenter of the storm. So that was where it got the biggest hit. Everybody talks about New Orleans because, well, all the people there, a lot more buildings, a lot more people, a lot more destruction, all that stuff. But Waveland, Mississippi is actually what took the brunt, dead center, head on of Katrina. And they have a little museum, which actually used to be was an old schoolhouse from the 20s. It's a very tiny museum. They have a nice video talking to some of the people who actually lived through the hurricane. And when I say lived through the hurricane, I mean literally lived through the hurricane. Like, they were still in Waveland. A hurricane came through. Their house was crumbling and being flooded around them, and they escaped out, not in a car, not in a helicopter, but just swimming and things like that. And that's all I'm going to tell you about that, because you got to go see it yourself.
The stories are phenomenal.
They are, and they're heart-wrenching too. They really are. And I was just thinking about that one guy and his mom.
I know, me too.
But it was very educational. You can still see today, not just in Waveland, but all along the Mississippi Gulf Coast, you can still see Katrina. I mean, they're still not 100% recovered from that, which I know is a lot of people don't really get or don't understand or don't believe. But hurricanes can take a long time to recover from, and the magnitude of Katrina, well, we're still dealing with it. And we're about 58 miles east of New Orleans. Most of the monetary damage was done in Mississippi, contrary to a lot of people believe. More people died in Louisiana, more economic damage was done here in Mississippi. This museum is actually in the only historic building that was left standing in Waveland, Mississippi. And this building was built in 1927. It used to be the elementary school. next video, we're going to take you on a tour of 3, count them, 3 different Mardi Gras museums in 3, count them, 3 different states.
Mardi Gras madness.
It's going to be Mardi Gras madness.
We hope you'll join us on
We'll definitely hope you join us on that.
Acorns are dropping.
Acorns are dropping on my head. That actually happened. That's going to be the subject of our next video. It's going to be an all Mardi Gras video coming out next Friday. So hope you join us for that little extravaganza. And as always, fellow adventure seekers, we thank you so much for being part of our adventure. And we look forward to seeing you at our next adventure.
So make your next journey an epic adventure.